The first three episodes of Only Murders in the Building Season 5 have dropped on Hulu, so it's time to get down into this investigation to see how well this season will pan out. Hello and welcome to Cinema, where we focus on the film. I'm Josh, this is Simply Cinema. Let me know down in the comments below what you thought of Only Murders in the Building, the premiere for these events. I'm going to go spoiler-free into all the details, but if you want to hear more of my thoughts on the specifics with spoilers, make sure to let me know that just as well. The way we follow up into this season is really well grounded. It's diverse and very different within the approach that goes into it, but feeling like you're having all of the right energy, all of the right stamina, that you're getting a lot more of this trio throughout these first three episodes, things that are balancing in. There's emotional strides here and there, but you're still following about all the gimmicks, all the witty remarks, and the jokes that follow about within the specialty that is done by John Hoffman as the creator of the show, and Steve Martin just as well. What we get out of this cast is really eccentric to the means to an end. We're dealing with the mob this time, and the show gets you right into that from about the first 10 minutes of the show, and you're ending up within some things with a missing figure, things are falling about, and it's dealing with the tragedy of Lester within this most sympathetic way, because he's the most heartful, innocent person within what you could deal with, and you're getting a lot more of his backstory as you follow about throughout what these first three episodes have to offer. The first episode dealing sort of with getting down into the business of the situation, all the clues, looking at what we have, looking at what we may be missing, looking at different suspects and new ideas that are coming about along the way. There's new characters introduced, but it's not the full cast that's fully on here just yet. That's going to spread throughout the show, and leading into the second episode, it's something that's unique because we're going on the flashback of what Lester's life was as the doorman from the first day he worked to where we are in the present, and there's different flashbacks here and there that goes about and clears all the information up with information that it could be essential later on within the season, or different clues that we could make out now and try and figure out the different things, different pieces of evidence later on in the season that will feed us the answers to the reason, the motives, and the person that is behind the murder of Lester. And there's another body that shows up later on at the end of episode 1 that becomes interesting to the centric role of what we're doing moving forward with this season. And what I feel is done properly with this season is just the energetic essentials that makes this feel like it's quickly paced, it's well diverse within what it's doing with its cast, pulling upon Jackie Hoffman, Michael Creighton, pulling about the members that we've seen of the Arconia from the past, but still having a primary focus on our main trio as a whole. They aren't splitting up nearly as much, which brings about a lot more of the eccentric chemistry that you want bouncing back and forth between them, because once we got that in a previous season where they were sort of split up doing their own thing, it sort of killed some of the energy that flowed throughout the show. So there's also these essential clues that are coming about along the way. We're getting things with the mob wife and things that we saw at the end of season 4 when we're hinting toward the future of what this season has to offer. You're getting a great cast, a good combination with the costume, with the makeup design, and everything that's done with the Arconia just as well brings upon some essentials that I'm a big fan of for what we're following through with the essentials of this season. And Selena Gomez is great as Mabel Mora just as well still, decorating her apartment within a new flourish way. And throughout these first three episodes, you're dealing with her being more settled down in life. We're dealing with Oliver Putnam being settled sort of in his new married life, even though we haven't seen Meryl Streep in these episodes just yet because she's off doing her own business. What we're dealing with Oliver Putnam is eccentric, and he's more settled in his own sort of way, but you still get those witty, charming remarks from him that really accentuates his character as a whole. Steve Martin as Charles Hayden Savage still is great for what we're getting out of his performance, manages to go about the back and forth between them just as well, but there's also a loneliness epidemic going on with his character. He's not necessarily as settled down with his life outside of the Murders podcast. The way we follow about with him bleeds into certain things where you don't know if he is going to meet someone by the end or what he will find himself settled in. But I feel like that will lend itself favors based on everything that this suggestion of self-talk is leading him on to. And you're going into an autopsy, certain things we haven't seen before is coming into fullest the flourish throughout what this season has to offer, which makes it exciting as ever. And leading on to episode 3, while there is certain things that you force-fed information in episode 2 that kind of feeds itself a little too strongly at some times, there's of course the flourish of what we get out of the side characters and looking at characters from seasons past that could appear within the rest of this season here and there, possibly. That's just my theory. But looking at episode 3, it reverts back into the present day, looking at the new clues and things that we saw within episode 1, investigating this new part of the Arconia that sets up a new setting, reevaluates our situation and our idea to the idea as a whole while keeping it close to home because we know it's still in the Arconia. We know there's different things that we haven't fully known about Lester, and finally learning for the first time, we're getting a new doorman that's becoming a new part of the cast, and other things that are coming about involving the mob, certain things about Godfather jokes to the Irish and everything that's going about with that. It becomes compelling, just the general nature that you're falling about with this show because it's quick paced, it has all the action you want out of it, but bleeds on to have all the right eccentric flavors because the trio is staying true to their nature, staying close together for the most part throughout running through what you're getting. So even when they are independent and on their own, those still scenes still strive to shine the best way possible because the writing is well equipped to make sure they get back to the team, they work together, there's no clues left unturned, and that's where things will all unfold throughout this rest of the season that so far within the course of the first 3 episodes of season 5, I am a big fan of what we are getting thus far. So that's just my personal thoughts on Only Murders in the Building Season 5, which I have to rate a simply 8 out of 10. Let me know down in the comments below what you thought of the first 3 episodes of Only Murders in the Building, and if you want me to go into deeper discussion, give off some spoiler reviews and theories that I have going forward with this season, let me know that just as well. I have reviews on all 4 seasons that came just before, so make sure to like this video if you enjoy it, subscribe if you haven't already to join in film culture community where we talk about the love of cinema as a whole. So that's just all, and make sure to do yourself a favor and go watch a movie.